we're exploring a profound and common challenge for business leaders: the tension between managing business cash flow while simultaneously providing the competitive benefits necessary to attract and retain top talent. Do you protect your business capital, or do you offer generous employee benefits? Whether you're a business owner feeling the weight of this decision, an executive tasked with human resources, or an employee wanting to understand how your workplace benefits are structured, this episode will give you a path forward. We are going to provide you with a foundation-first framework that aligns company stability with robust employee opportunities entirely through our S3 approach to employer plan design. Let us start by taking a collective breath. If you are a business owner or an executive listening to this right now, we want to begin by validating the environment you operate in. Running a business requires navigating a constant stream of competing priorities. When you look at your balance sheet, you see the lifeblood of your company: cash flow. When you look at your team, you see the heart of your company, your people. Traditional financial advice often presents these two vital components as adversaries. You are told that every dollar placed into an employee retirement plan is a dollar removed from the safety of the business's operating capital. From a SafeSimpleSound perspective, we recognize this as a false choice. Through our approach to financial planning, our framework demonstrates that you can and must achieve both. You do not have to choose between corporate financial security and employee wealth building. Today marks part 1 of our Employer Plan series, where we are going to lay the foundation. We are resolving this contradiction by exploring a both-and solution. Through our S3 framework, we lean heavily on a concept we call integration over abandonment. This means we don't need to scrap traditional business wisdom. We don't need to abandon the need for strong corporate cash flow. Rather, we integrate modern plan design to build a truly safe foundation. Our goal today is to provide complete educational generosity. We want you to walk away from this episode with a clear, systematic understanding of how a retirement plan functions, providing value that will serve your business, whether you ever choose to work with our practice or not. Let's dive in.
I want to pause here for a brief architect's note about the tools we have built to help you with these specific challenges. Most financial advice is just a collection of tips and tricks. It's like trying to run high-end software on buggy operating system. My job here at SafeSimpleSound is to help you upgrade that operating system so that you can close the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. If you ever felt like you know what you should do but you're not doing it, it's not a knowledge problem, it's a capability gap. I have released the first 9 chapters of my book, SafeSimpleSound, as a foundational guide to help you debug the system. Details on your screen now.
When drawing from our CAFC background at SafeSimpleSound, we frequently observe a very specific pattern when owners review their employer retirement plans. The pattern is this: the immediate focus jumps straight to the investment lineup. We look at the mutual funds, we look at the historical returns, we look at the administrative fees. Now, let us be clear. Fund selection is certainly a component of a retirement plan. But in our S3 methodology, focusing primarily on the investment lineup is like picking out the paint colors for a house before the concrete foundation has even been poured. While fund selection has a place, it is entirely secondary to the architectural integrity of the plan itself. A safe first planning approach dictates that we build from the ground up. The core mechanisms of your plan matter far more than chasing the hottest mutual funds or the absolute lowest administrative fees. What do we mean by core mechanisms? We are talking about the rules of the road. How does money go into the plan? How is that money protected from creditors or volatility? And how does that money grow steadily over time? This aligns directly with the principle of establishing a secure baseline. By ensuring the structural alignment of your profit-sharing plans and 401k plan design, we protect the business while offering a tangible wealth-building tool for your community of employees. It is a systematic way of creating stability. Let's translate some of the complex industry jargon into simple, conversational language. If we are going to talk about the structural elements of a secure 401k, we have to talk about something called a CODA. CODA stands for Cash or Deferred Arrangement. It sounds highly technical, perhaps even intimidating, But at the heart of modern employer plans, the CODA is simply the structural backbone of the traditional 401k. The concept itself is a beautiful, simple, both-and solution. Think of a CODA as a fork in the road for an employee's compensation. When payday arrives, the CODA allows an employee to choose a path. Path A, they can receive their cash compensation right now, take it home, and pay the current taxes on it. Path B, they can defer a portion of that income, sending it down a tax-advantaged path into a retirement account to be accessed later. Through our SafeSimpleSound practice, we view a constitutionally sound CODA as an instrument of patient, methodical mechanics. We don't rely on flashy promises of overnight wealth. We rely on steady, predictable systems. Giving employees the agency to defer their compensation is empowering. It allows them to participate in their own long-term financial safety. Whether you are a listener trying to understand how your own workplace benefits operate, or a prospective client looking to audit your business's current plan without feeling pressured, understanding this mechanism is an incredible opportunity for clarity. The CODA is the gateway. It is the valve that controls the flow of capital from the present to the future. Now, from an S3 perspective, how does this serve the business owner? How does this resolve the tension we spoke about at the beginning of the episode? This is where the principle of integration over abandonment truly shines. By setting up a sound CODA, the business is providing a highly competitive benefit, a platform for wealth building, without necessarily draining operating capital, because the initial funding is coming from the employee's own deferred wages. The business facilitates the safe environment. The employee utilizes the safe environment. Both parties are served. This provides the stability we look for when designing corporate benefits. But of course, a retirement plan is more than just employee deferrals. Businesses often want and need to contribute as well. This brings us to a concept that beautifully illustrates our Shelby the Trustworthy Tortoise's energy: vesting. In the SafeSimpleSound framework, we champion the Trustworthy Tortoise pace. True wealth and true business stability are built steadily, step by step, over time. They are not built through hasty decisions or shortcuts. This philosophy perfectly aligns with the strategic use of vesting schedules in your 401k plan design. Let's simplify vesting. Vesting simply means ownership. If an employer puts money into an employee's retirement account, say through a match or a profit-sharing contribution, a vesting schedule determines when the employee truly owns that specific employer-contributed money. If they leave the company before they are fully vested, they may forfeit some or all of the employer's contribution. In traditional financial spaces, vesting is sometimes viewed negatively. It is sometimes framed as a punishment or a trap. Our S3 framework completely reframes this. Vesting is not a penalty for employees who leave. Rather, it is a reward for those who stay and help build the company's vision. By structuring vesting schedules thoughtfully, you integrate company loyalty with employee wealth building. This is what we call a stakeholder synthesis. It serves the business's need for retention because replacing talented staff is an enormous drain on resources, while honoring the employee's need for long-term financial security. It says to the employee, if you invest your time and talent in this business for the long haul, this business will securely invest in your future. It is patient, it is deliberate, it is safe, simple, and sound. To truly grasp the power of architectural plan design, we need to look at how these principles play out in the real world. To illustrate this principle, let me share a hypothetical scenario. While this story is created entirely for educational purposes, it demonstrates the very real patterns we see when families and business owners apply S3 thinking to retirement planning. Consider this hypothetical situation. Picture a fictional company called Horizon Manufacturing, owned by a fictional founder named Sarah. Horizon Manufacturing has been in business for about a decade. They have 40 dedicated employees. Sarah is a compassionate leader who cares deeply about her team. She wants them to retire with dignity. However, Sarah is facing that exact contradiction we discussed earlier. Horizon Manufacturing is growing, and that growth requires capital. Sarah feels a tremendous amount of anxiety because she believes she has to choose between funding a new equipment line for the warehouse or offering a generous 401k match to keep her best engineers from leaving for larger corporate competitors. In our hypothetical scenario, Sarah's current retirement plan is what we would call architecturally leaky. She has a 401k in place, but she set it up years ago by simply checking some boxes online. Her current plan offers immediate 100% vesting on all employer match contributions. Furthermore, she selected the default investment options without understanding the fiduciary responsibility attached to them. What is happening to Sarah's fictional business? She is pouring cash into employee matches, but because there is no vesting schedule, no trustworthy tortoise mechanism, employees are taking the match and leaving for other jobs a year later. Horizon Manufacturing is effectively funding the retirement accounts of their competitors' future employees. Meanwhile, Sarah is personally taking on immense legal liability because she hasn't properly structured her fiduciary oversight. She feels overwhelmed. She feels like offering benefits was a mistake. Now, let's look at how the SafeSimpleSound framework transforms this hypothetical situation through a both-and solution. First, we address the architectural integrity. We look at the CODA, the deferral arrangement. We ensure the educational communication to her employees is clear, simple, and empowering, encouraging them to take ownership of their own deferrals. Second, we implement a patient vesting schedule. Instead of immediate ownership of the employer match, we introduce a graded vesting schedule over, let's say, 4 or 5 years. Let's pause and unpack that. What happens to Sarah's business now? When a new engineer is hired, they are offered a generous matching contribution. This checks the box for competitive benefits. However, to fully capture that wealth, the engineer is incentivized to stay with Horizon Manufacturing for the next 5 years. If an employee does leave after 2 years, the unvested portion of the employer match goes back into the plan to offset future employer contributions. Sarah's business capital is protected. The employees who stay and build the company are rewarded. It is a synthesis of loyalty and wealth building. Finally, and this is perhaps the most critical part of our hypothetical deep dive, we address the fiduciary shield. Too often in the financial industry, compliance and fiduciary duties are framed using alarmist language. They are framed as terrifying legal burdens or catastrophic traps waiting to ensnare the unsuspecting business owner. We reject that alarmist language at SafeSimpleSound. We view it entirely differently. The fiduciary shield is a foundational safety net. It is a protection for both the business owner and the plan participants. Operating as a fiduciary simply means making decisions in the absolute best interest of the plan participants. In our educational example, Sarah was terrified of being sued if the mutual funds in her plan performed poorly. But by embracing the fiduciary standard, by putting a systematic process in place to review the plan's architecture, assess the fees, and document her decisions, she isn't just checking a legal box. She is actively demonstrating professional warmth and care for her team. Through a SafeSimpleSound perspective, establishing this fiduciary process protects her business from liability while ensuring her employees receive fair, transparent, and secure management of their financial futures. It transforms a perceived burden into a badge of honor. This safe harbor mentality is the ultimate expression of confidence. While this story of Sarah and Horizon Manufacturing is fictional, it demonstrates how our framework resolves the most stressful contradictions of business ownership. Through this educational example, you can see patterns we observe regularly when businesses apply systematic S3 thinking to their benefits. They move from a state of anxiety and either-or decision-making into a state of both and confidence. They protect their cash flow, and they provide competitive benefits. They secure their legal standing, and they demonstrate profound care for their employees. Whether you are facing this exact scenario or something similar, perhaps you are an owner wondering if your current plan is leaking capital, or perhaps you are an employee wondering how your own company's vesting schedule works. Understanding these principles empowers you. It provides a path forward that is grounded in logic, patience, and safety. As we draw today's episode to a close, let's take a moment to summarize the key insights we've explored from our Safe First blueprint. We started by acknowledging the tension between business capital and employee benefits, and we resolved it through the S3 principle of integration over abandonment. We learned that the architectural integrity of your 401k and profit-sharing plan, the core mechanisms, must take priority over simply chasing investment funds. We decoded the CODA, translating the cash or deferred arrangement into a simple conversational concept, a powerful fork in the road that empowers employees to fund their own futures. We explored the power of vesting, reframing it from a punitive measure into a trustworthy tortoise reward system that aligns employee loyalty with long-term wealth building, protecting the business's capital in the process. And finally, we redefined the fiduciary shield. We removed the alarmist industry fear-mongering and recognized fiduciary duty for what it truly is, a foundational safety net and a demonstration of professional warmth and care for your team. Our commitment at SafeSimpleSound is to the principle of educational generosity. We want to ensure that every single time you listen to this podcast, you are provided with complete, actionable value, regardless of whether you ever choose to engage our professional services. You are now equipped with the capability to view retirement plans not as confusing administrative burdens, but as structural tools for mutual success. You now have the vocabulary and the framework to ask better questions about how your plan is designed and who it is truly serving. That knowledge belongs to you, and it will serve you whether you engage with our practice or not. However, if you are a business owner or an executive, and you are realizing that your current plan might lack the architectural integrity we've discussed today, we want to offer you a clear, simple next step. This episode draws from our recent blog post, The Safe First Blueprint for 401k and Profit Sharing Plan Design, which you can find at SafeSimpleSound.com for the complete written framework. Through our S3 approach development, we've created a specific resource offer, the Safe First Plan Assessment. We invite you to download this assessment to evaluate your current plan's structural integrity completely free. It is designed to be a non-judgmental, clear-eyed look at the foundation of your benefits. Contact us for download information. If today's S3 insights resonate with your family's or your business's situation, we invite you to explore what financial planning could look like through our Safe Simple Sound practice. You can reach out to us directly through our website to request your assessment or to schedule a conversation with our team. Remember, financial planning does not have to be a source of stress or an endless series of either-or compromises. By building on a safe foundation, keeping the mechanics simple, and ensuring the strategy is constitutionally sound, you can create a business environment where both the company and the employees thrive together. Thank you for joining us for part 1 of our Employer Plan series. We look forward to continuing this journey of confidence with you on the next episode of the Safe Simple Sound podcast. Take care and step forward with confidence.
We have covered the theory. Now a quick word on the resources available to help you with actual implementation. If you are realizing that your financial system has grown too complex to manage alone, instead of looking for additional products, look for diagnosis. Most people try to perform surgery on their finances even before they understand the pathology of their problems. I invite you to Clarity Diagnostic. This is a 30-minute pressure-free session where we look under the hood of your finances to look for any integration errors that are causing you anxiety. No sales pitch, just professional diagnosis of current state and a clear path forward. Book your session. Details on the screen now.